Hello everyone, all you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of the CSS tutorial. In this episode, I'm going to go through the overflow property in CSS. So yeah, the overflow basically controls what happens to content that is too big to fit inside of an area. So, for example, uh, if we have a div element with the class of example, and then we have some content inside of here, and if we set the height or width to be something like 100 pixels, then that's going to be probably overflowing, and that's when the CSS overflow property comes in. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to use this div element as an example. So yeah, the overflow property specifies whether to clip the content or add some scroll bars when the element is too big. When the content of an element is too big to fit inside the specified area. So let's say that we have a div called, let's say, CSS overflow property. There we go. And then I'm gonna take the class. Alright, I'm going to delete the previous styles. Well, I already did. Then let's set, for example, we have 4 different values for this property. So overflow can be visible, then it can be hidden, scroll, and auto. So yeah, these are the property value pairs. So yeah, let's go and create the div element, which we have, and then I'm gonna style it. So background dash color, let's say it's going to be red. Alright, I'm gonna go with that, and then I'm gonna set the height to be, let's say, 60 pixels, and width will be 200 pixels. I'm also going to open Google Chrome, so yep. Okay, looking a lot better. So we got Google Chrome open. We got the height, we got the width, and I'm gonna set and border. Let's say 1 pixel solid, or maybe 2 pixels. There we go. And overflow will be visible. There we go. So right now we have this. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So, if I am going to copy this text many times, you see what happens. This is going to overflow outside of this div container. So yeah, the text is not anymore inside of this. It is overflowing. So yeah, that's what the overflow property is all about. So we set the overflow to be visible, and the visible means that the content is not going to be clipped or anything like that, and it renders outside of the elements box. Alright, how about if we use the value hidden, for example? So let's say that hidden. Alright, now you can see the difference. I'm also gonna set the font weight to bold. So right now this text will become hidden when it goes outside of the container. so it's no longer visible. So that's what the overflow hidden property does. So the overflow gets clipped. So yeah, this can be used when we want to have some better control of the layout of the website. So yeah, let's go to the next one. So if we set the overflow to be scroll, look what happens. This is going to create a box that has a scroll bar inside of it. So this is a pretty good looking one as well. Well, it depends. You like it or you don't. But basically we have a scroll bar and all the content is visible. So yeah. We can also fill this horizontally and vertically. So yeah, let's say that the width will, or actually I'm gonna show that in a little bit, but for now this is the overflow scroll property. Actually I'm gonna show you quickly. So if I change the width to be equal to 50 pixels, look what happens. We have this container, we have a scroll bar on the bottom, and then we have a scroll bar on the right side. So yeah, that's the overflow scroll property. So yeah, this could come in handy. Then we have a value called auto. So we can set this to be auto. So this behaves similar to the value scroll. But there's one difference. The auto value will only add these scrolling bars only when it's necessary. So let's say I'm gonna make this 150 pixels wide. We no longer have that bottom scroll bar. Let's make it 160 pixels. Let's say 260. 360. Alright? So right now we don't have any scroll bars inside of here anymore. We only have the container. So yeah, that's the overflow auto property. So yeah. So yeah, oftentimes the websites will be built with these little containers or div elements like over here, and it's kind of important to keep an eye on the overflowing as well, because that can actually happen without you even noticing it. If we didn't have the background color, and if we didn't have a border, we wouldn't really notice that the CSS property, I mean this is CSS, is not overflowing. Right now it's not, but for example right now it is, and the only thing we can see that from are these scroll bars. So yeah, and that's because we have set the overflow to be auto. Alright. We also have some individual properties for overflow on the x-axis and on the y-axis. So I'm gonna say overflow dash, let's say x. So if this container overflows on the x-axis, it's going to be, for example, hidden. If it overflows on the y-axis, it will be a scroll bar. So right now we have a scroll bar over here, but only on the y-axis, from the top to the bottom. So yeah, And this is definitely overflowing and we cannot see that. It's getting out of bounds. So yeah, these are the overflow properties in CSS. We can use the overflow or the overflow X and Y. So yeah, what if I make this one to be hidden and this one to be scroll? Well, now it's going to be the other way around. So we have a bottom scroll bar, but we don't have a scroll bar for the y-axis. Let's make the height something like 160 pixels. We still don't have a scroll bar. So yeah, that's the difference by using two values instead of just one. We can style this more detailed. So yeah. Alright, then I'm going to show you some overflow wrap properties. So let's make the height 200 pixels and width as well. So there we go. Right now we got the element. I'm gonna get the background color once again, like that. There we go. And then I'm gonna set a border of 2 pixels solid. Okay, so right now all the content is fitting inside. So yeah, we can set the overflow dash wrap to be normal. That's the default value, so nothing will change. However, if we make this into, for example, let's say break word, I'm gonna show you what it does. So I'm gonna make this into 100 pixels. So basically the break word will be breaking some very long words. For example, let's say that we have a word over here. So blah 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 blah. So right now this line over here, normally it would overflow on the the x-axis, but because we have the flex wrap set to break word, it's not going to overflow. If we remove this and set it to normal, look what happens. Now it's going to look like this. So yeah. Then we can also use the value of anywhere. So the long word will break and it will wrap to the next line, which means basically hitting enter. Alright, so I'm gonna be adding a value of anywhere. So yeah, it's still overflowing but not on the y-axis. So yeah, there we go. So these are the overflow wrap properties. We have anywhere, break word, and normal. And then the calculate function, variable function, unset, initial, and inherit like usual. So yeah, that is the overflow wrap property. Alright, and that is pretty much going to be it for this episode of the CSS tutorial, and this is the overflow property. So yeah, it's a pretty important one, I would say. Keep that in mind and keep practicing with that, because you gotta definitely keep track of your overflows. Anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far, and I hope that I'm going to see you in the next one. So yeah, bye bye everyone, and have yourselves a wonderful day. See you guys later.